Well, hello and welcome to my channel. It's Let's Get Fit with Sandy, but be careful or you'll end up in my novel. Every Tuesday, Tracy over at Trials of a Longhair Girl does a tag. She tags a couple people and then they in turn tag other people. If you've watched the tags, you kind of see that certain people always tag the same people, which is fine because you still get to see them all. But usually Robbie over at Frekifitwolf gets tagged, and he didn't get tagged. Because he always tags me. So people always just know, oh, I'm not going to tag Robbie or Sandy because they always get tagged anyhow. And we didn't get tagged. So I was grocery shopping today and Robbie texted me and says, I don't think we're going to get tagged. And I go, oh yeah, we are. I'm going to tag you because I'm just going to take it upon myself to do the tag. Because that's just who I am. Pushy, pushy, pushy. So I am going to tag, oh, I wrote it down who I'm going to tag. Well, obviously I'm going to tag Sparkles, which is Frekifitwolf, and his real name is Robbie, but I call him Sparkles. But Robbie, this is one way that we're going to get involved in this tag, because we're going to do this. I'm also going to tag Lainey over at Laineyslife and Mary Fran over at No Excuses. So, because everybody else has been tagged, except for Robbie and I. Wah, wah, wah. So anyway, this is a travel tag, this or that. I watched Dish with Dee's, and I think she had a good suggestion, Tracy, if you're watching, this, that, or neither. Because some of them could be a neither, or either, or either I. Sometimes you just can't choose. It might help Joan out a lot over at Joan's Point and Plate, because sometimes she has a little bit of a difficulty doing it. But anyway, let's get started. Number one, plane or boat. Now, I've been on both. I took the Disney cruise, which if you ever can do the Disney cruise, do the Disney cruise because it is so nice. What I did like about it is there's, I think there's 2 decks, maybe 3 decks that are just strictly adult decks, and the kids aren't allowed. And if you want to be with the kids, you can go on the family decks. But if you just want a nice cruise just for adults, they have adult, you know, not entertainment, but you know what I mean. It's like, you know, like you don't have to worry about little kids running around. I liked it because we went with our families. Bertie took her whole family and I took my whole family, and we did the land and cruise. So we did 3 days on land and 4 days on cruise. Beautiful. It was, that's the way to go. I don't know that I'd want to go on a cruise now with COVID going on, but I loved it. And I do like to fly, but I don't want to fly now because all of that. My favorite parts are the parts that people hate. I love the takeoff and I love the landing. I love like you're just sitting there and you're going and then all of a sudden you're like thrown back into your seat. I love that feeling. Now you would think I like a roller coaster, but I don't. But I love going on a plane. But I haven't been on a plane since 2005. Yeah, 2005. It's been a while since I've been on a plane. Number two, train or bus. I'm always going to pick the train. I've been on both, train or bus. I don't know if they mean just like a travel bus, like a Greyhound bus or a tour bus. I've taken tour buses like the senior center over by us does, you know, day trips, senior trips that we've done, that you go on a bus. When we went to Hawaii, they had tour buses that took you from one end of the island to the other end of the island. They were fun. But what I like about a train is they have better bathrooms, first of all, because the bus bathrooms are just like, they leave a lot to be desired. And, but I remember one time we went on a train, we were going with our bowling league, we were going to Toronto for our, that was the one, if you've watched any of my other videos, where we went into the bars, and they only had male bars and female bars. But we had gone with this one guy that we really liked, Jim and I both liked, as a friend. He was just a really nice guy, we thought. And, you know, he stayed overnight at our house a couple times because he was kind of like down and out on his luck. But, you know, he was trying. It wasn't like he was just a bum. He was trying, but he was just having some hard times. And so we had taken him in, and we were kind of caring for him. And we were going on the bowling league. He went on the bowling league with us to go for the thing. Now, back then, we went back in the 70s. Jim had $50 to spend of his money, and I had $50 to spend of my money. And back in the 70s, you could get a lot for $50. I know it sounds piddly now, but trust me, back then you could buy a lot for $50. It was like probably having like $200 now. But, so we were on the train, and all the men mingled together, and all the ladies lingered together in their own little, you know, cars. But they mingled back and forth. And his name was Paul. And Paul had come up to me, and he had said, you know, I was just talking to Jim, and I told him I'm a little low on money, and he said that you had $50, that you could lend it to me, and then when I get home, I'll pay you the $50, because Jim said he brought a little bit more extra money besides the $50. So I says, oh, okay. So I gave him the $50, because he was living with us. I'm thinking, I know where you live, you know. So I gave him the $50, and then we get to, you know, our hotel, we check in and stuff like that, and most of the stuff in the first part of the trip was paid for in advance. We put a little bit of it on a credit card, but, you know, like for the most part, we were trying to spend our cash. And then, so we were getting dressed to go somewhere one night, and then Jim said, well, can I have some of your money? And I says, no, you spent all your money. I can't help it, you know. And he says, no, I lent it to Paul. And I go, how much did you lend to Paul? And he says, $50. I said, $50? He came and took $50 from me. He said that you said that I should lend it to him. And he said, well, he told me the same thing, so I gave him it. So we go and try to find Paul, and he's nowhere to be found, because he's out spending our money, not his money. And so we couldn't do half of the stuff we wanted to do because we didn't have any money. And so we were just so pissed. And we were coming back, because it was only like a weekend trip. It was only like for 3 days. And we're coming back on the train, and, you know, like we couldn't eat or anything because we didn't have any money. And he had the nerve to go up to, and we didn't want to say anything because we didn't want to embarrass him, you know, shame on me for, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. Or is it the other way around? No, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. That was how it goes. But, and so, you know, we were just sitting there, we couldn't do anything. You know, we couldn't get drinks at the bar, in the bar car, we couldn't eat, we couldn't do anything. And he had the nerve to go to somebody and he said, could you lend Jim and Sandy some money because they didn't plan accordingly and they didn't bring enough money. And now we kind of feel bad that they don't have any money. I was so mad. And at that point, we outed him to everybody. You know, like, oh, he came, you know, he did this and he did that and all that. And he kept saying, I did not do that. But people knew him and they knew that he did. So people offered to give us money, you know, buy us a drink or something. But, you know, that's just not who we were. So we said, no, that's okay. You know, we'll make it home. And then when we got to the train station, he went to get in the car and I go, what are you doing? He says, well, I need a ride home. And I go, you got all these other friends. Find a friend. Find somebody to give you a ride. I don't care. He says, you're really not going to give me a ride home? And I go, I'm really not going to give you a ride home. I'm really not. The way you treated us on this weekend. Oh, no. You are not getting a ride home from us. So he says, fine, I'll find a ride. So when we got home, and probably this was vengeful on my part, probably not Christian, I don't know, but I went into his room. I packed up all of his stuff. I put the double bolt on the door, and I locked the screen, and first of all, I put all of his stuff out on the porch, and I locked up the house as tight as a drum. And then when he came and he's knocking on the door, he says, I can't get in. And I go find somewhere else to live, because you're not living here anymore. Anyway, that was my train experience. And we never saw him again after that. Never saw him again. And we never got our money back. But we knew that was going to happen too. But you know what? If I had to do it all over again, as far as taking somebody in to take care of them, I would do it. I really would. But I would never lend them money unless I checked with Jim first. Lesson learned. Number 3, amusement park or historical sites. When I was younger, I would have always picked an amusement park. Even though I didn't go on a lot of the fancy rides, the scary rides, I do like a good historical site. The only thing I don't like going to historical sites is because I can look at something and go, oh yeah, that's nice, and then move on. Now Jim will go, oh, that's nice. Well, let's learn about this and let's learn about that, and let me read the card on this, and let me go see the video, and but we do want to go to Gettysburg one day. But unfortunately, it's always in September, and it's always hot in September, so I don't know that we're going to do that. Which leads us to the next question: tropical or Arctic? I loved Hawaii. I would love to go back. It was so much fun. I had so much fun in Hawaii, and I would definitely want to go back to Hawaii. I do love the cold, but not to vacation in the cold. I love walking in the cold. I love being outside in the cold, but no, I don't want a vacation in the cold. Number 5, hot tub or hot springs. I've never been in the hot springs, so I don't know what that's like. And I don't like a hot tub because it just seems like a It's like taking a bath. When you sit in the bathtub and you're wallowing in your own dirt and filth. That's how I feel in a bath, so I don't take baths. I take a shower every day, but I don't take a bath. I couldn't tell you the last time I took a bath, where I actually sat in a bathtub. Nope, I can't tell you. It's been, I have not, 50, 60 years since I sat in a bathtub. It's been a long time. It's really been a long time. But I think a hot tub breeds germs. And so that even more you're having filth, you're going to have all those, ugh, and you're having everybody else's, you know, juices and stuff like that, you know, if you know what I mean. It's just like, no, I don't like that. So I would pick a hot springs, even though I've never been in one. Grand Canyon or Jellystone. Is there really a place called Jellystone? I thought that was where Yogi Bear lived. I thought there was a Yellowstone. I've been to the Grand Canyon. Oh, it's beyond majestic. It is just beyond. Pictures just do not do it justice. Just, you have to see it in person. Even if you see a video, because we went, when we were at the Grand Canyon, we went to the little, they have like a little museum that you can go to, and they show it from a bird's eye view, and it's like they must have strapped, I don't know if it was a drone, I don't know if they had drones back when I went, because I went in 2003, or if they put a thing on a bird's leg or something, I don't know, but the bird took off and flew over the canyon, or whoever it was for the filming of this, and it was like you were seeing it from a bird's perspective. It was just it was just magnificent. It's just like words cannot put it into, you have to go there to see it. So if I had to go there, I would hit Jellystone first and go see Not Your Average Bear, Yogi Bear, and I'd see Bubba, or Boo Boo. I'd go see Boo Boo, and what's his name, Ranger? I forget the Ranger Smith, I think his name was. I'll have to check. I'll leave it right here, because he was in Yogi Bear's park too. And I will bring him a picnic basket so he can have it. But no, the Grand Canyon was really nice. Birdie almost fell off the Grand Canyon. You see so many people falling off the Grand Canyon. We were looking at something and Birdie wanted to see something, and she leaned over and her glasses, she didn't realize that her glasses and her car keys had fallen over the cliff, but fell onto like a little jetaway or something that was not something you could climb to, but just like a part of the rock that went out. And we went back to get in the car to leave, and she didn't realize it. And then she realized that she lost, we couldn't go anywhere, we didn't have any keys. So we're like looking all around for the keys, and she just happened to look over the edge and she saw her keys. And does that nut not climb over there? I thought we can go get a ranger. I mean, it would have been a walk, it would have been a hike, or we could have had somebody else go and get a ranger to do something to get it out. But she climbed over there and she slipped. But she didn't fall, but she slipped. And my heart just stopped. I'm thinking, oh, couldn't believe it. And then when she's climbing back up, we see these tiny little people. And I go, what's going on? And I look, and there's all this crowd of people, and they're all looking. And it's this father and son that wanted to go as far out of the bluff as they could to get a better view. And they were doing all this climbing. They were like, our hearts were stopping, because so many times it looked like they were going to fall right into the canyon. And then when they got all the way out, I have the picture somewhere. I don't know where it is, though. When they got all the way out, I said, can I take your picture? And they go, well, yeah, why? And I said, because when I go home and tell people about the nuts that climbed out to the end of the Grand Canyon, I want to be able to have proof of their picture, because I took a couple pictures of you out there. And he says, oh, yeah, I'd like to see that. I said, well, you know, back then you had like regular cameras that you sent for film. I said, well, give me your address and I'll mail them to you. He never gave me his address, so I never mailed them to him. But anyway, I know I'm going on. Maybe this is why I don't get tagged. Number 7, ghost tour or historical tour. I don't believe in ghosts, but I believe in spirits. There's a difference. I don't think a ghost comes and haunts you, but I do think your loved one's spirits come and visit you, and you can feel them in the room. Sometimes you just kind of go, I know they're here. You just do it. It's just, you know that their spirits are here. But I'd go on the historical tour. We did do we did walk in the Boston, the Freedom Trail, I think it's called, or the Freedom March, or we went through Bunker Hill and Beacon Street and all that. We did that whole walking tour back when I was young. That was like 22 or 23 when I did that. I don't know that I could do the whole tour now, but I would do the historical tour. Number 8, zoo or aquarium. Now I do like both. when my sisters and I, when Susie was alive, we used to do every year a sister's vacation, and we would go somewhere for like a long weekend, and they got to pick somewhere. But no matter who picked, Denise always picked a zoo that we had to go to when we were there. So we saw every zoo. My favorite zoo, I know everybody raves about the Toledo Zoo, but my favorite zoo was the Memphis Zoo. I loved the Memphis Zoo. There's something about it that I just loved. And when we go to Toronto, we go to the Ripley's Aquarium, which I like that too, because that's kind of neat too. But I would pick a zoo, because I have memories of when I was younger. We used to go on picnics all the time with our family and our extended family, with our cousins and stuff like that. And we would go, and my mother and father had a cooler that had the Vernors. If you're from Michigan, you'd know Vernors. It's like a little elf that's on there with, he has a green hat, little goatee. Looks like a gnome. And it would say Vernors across the cooler. And we would carry that cooler, and we had a wagon, and we'd pull it, and it was just so much fun. Good memories. It was cheap, because anything you were going to eat at home, we just dragged to the zoo, and we ate it at the zoo. State parks are off the beaten path. I've never really gone off the beaten path. Although that would be interesting. But I pretty much stick to the state parks, because everything, all the necessities of life are there. Running water, toilets, people. I like that. So that's where I would pick. Number 10, beach or mountain climbing? Oh, definitely, 100% beach. Beach, beach, beach. I love, 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 love being outside, and I love being by the water. My dream would be to win the lottery and build a house right on the water. Well, not on the water, but, you know, off the shore. Because I love the sound when we go up to the cottage in Lexington. I love having my windows open and just hearing the water coming up to the shore and backing up and coming to the shore. It's just such a peaceful sound. And then I would sit out there at night really late just listening to the waves. And then in the morning it's so peaceful, it's just so calm. Beach, definitely the beach. So anyway, thank you, Sandy, for tagging me. Well, you're welcome. Not a problem. Anytime. Good to know. I am going to tag Robbie over at Frekifitwolf, Lainey over at Laineyslife, and Mary Fran over at No Excuses. Thank you, Tracy, for doing the tags. Hopefully you don't mind that I tagged myself, and that we're continuing on. I look forward to seeing them on Tuesday, so it's like I keep looking, did she post it yet? Did she post it yet? So go over to her channel, subscribe, tell her I sent you over, and I hope you liked it. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, and share it. So I will talk to you guys on my daily vlog. See you then.